Good evening from Banjul and welcome to the news. We begin with the headlines. President Jammeh urges beneficiaries of his free infertility treatment program to exercise birth spacing. Government and the Islamic Development Bank signs 2 financing agreements amounting to $52 million earmarked for the communication and energy sectors. Reports that the Senegalese president's son, Karim, approached the French for military support to quell recent riots in Dakar prompt opposition politicians to accuse the government of selling out. And world leaders descend on South Sudan en masse ahead of the declaration of independence from the north. These stories and much more coming ahead in the news. I am Fatou Kamara and thank you for joining us. Welcome once again. The President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh has received a letter of appreciation from his Nigerian counterpart, Goodluck Jonathan. The text reads, "I write to express my honest appreciation to you for the support and solidarity you demonstrated by sending a delegation led by Her Excellency the Vice President to represent you at my inauguration ceremony in Abuja on the 29th May 2011. Your kind gesture can only go to further deepen the strong cordial relations that exist between our two countries and peoples. I very much look forward to working with you in the course of growth and development, as well as peace and security on our continent and in the global community at large. Please accept Your Excellency and dear brother of my highest esteem and warmest personal regards." It ends. The United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has written to President Jammeh. The letter reads, "Upon my nomination as Secretary General in late 2006, I stated that the true measure of success for the United Nations was not how much we promise, but how much we deliver for those who needed us most. While our organization may be modest in its means, it is ambitious in its values, and we must continue to lead by example. As Secretary General, I have sworn to make the most of the responsibility invested in my office by the United Nations Charter and by you. Together with our staff, we have worked to protect and empower the most valuable members of humanity and for the peaceful resolution of threats to international security. We have upheld norms, stretched resources, and taken enormous risks to rise to these challenges. I have sought to be a bridge builder throughout my time in office between member states within the United Nations system and between the United Nations and a rich diversity of outside partners. Finding common ground is central to laying a strong foundation for delivering results. And we must indeed focus on results for those whose lives depend on us in dangerous or forgotten places where few outside the United Nations dare go. In recent years, hundreds of United Nations staff have lost their lives. Their sacrifice has been a daily reminder to me of the challenges we face as an organization, but also of the courage and dedication of the UN staff who serve in most environments to further the ideals enshrined in the Charter." It ends. Meanwhile, His Excellency has voiced concern over the rate at which women he successfully treated for fertility problems are delivering babies. Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh was speaking on Wednesday in Kanilai at the start of a treatment session for the 5th batch of patients to benefit from the treatment, which he offers at no cost. Professor Jammeh, as Abdunjai reports, also said there is need to observe 18 to 24 months of spacing at the minimum to safeguard the health of the children.
The President's comments came amidst frequent delivery by women he has already treated for infertility. The trend President Jammeh, who is also their doctor, insists can cause the children serious health problems, talk less of the financial implications for their upkeep.
Yeah, you want to have children, but at least you want to have healthy children. You have to respect spacing, minimum of 12 months. In the Quran, Allah says 18 months. So if you are a Muslim, respect the spacing. You see, don't say that nobody can fool Allah. And nobody can take advantage of a situation. Do you understand? Now, anytime I sleep with my husband, I can become pregnant. So let me make as many babies as possible. But remember that you need to take care of these babies one day or the other. And the spacing, because the spacing is so bad, you're going to have sickly children. That will cost you a fortune to take care of them medically.
It is like stumbling on a heap of gold after years of hardship, which is in the case of this woman the cure the president's alternative treatment program offered them. And they are, as expected, in a dilemma and will not consider the specifics of birth control measures.
At the end of the day, these children are not well breastfed, and Alan knows why he stipulated 18 months to 24 months. Now, if your wife is pregnant every 9 months, that means as soon as your wife delivers, maybe 3 months after that she has conceived. This is very dangerous. This is not even good for the woman. And the woman must understand too that the more children you have, the more you are in a worse shape when you are older. If you just produce children because you want to take advantage of the fact that now, before I have this age, or before I attain menopause, I have so many children, it doesn't work that way. I'm really worried. Because even the last parade I saw somebody carrying two children, and I thought it was twins, and I told him, you can hardly see the difference.
The objective of the treatment is solely to provide them cure for infertility. But most of them are now of the opinion that the president's herbal medication can in fact offer them more. There is news that because of the effectiveness of the herbal medication, there are other women also seeking it to get twins or triplets. I mean, these are women who have given birth to other children already. I mean, how will you react to that?
Let me just make one thing very clear about my treatment. I cannot determine whether you have twins or triplets or whether you will even have a child. My medication is for you to facilitate. I pray to the Almighty Allah. At the end of the day, it's the Almighty Allah. But don't say that, let me go and take his medicine so that I may have twins or triplets. No. My medicine is for you to conceive. Now, whether you're going to conceive and whether twins or single or triplets or whatever is Allah's decision, not in my hands. I cannot determine that.
It was not entirely a smooth session, but the president was on top of the problems. Holding the treatment on a Wednesday came with its own ups and downs.
Today we had an exceptionally difficult day. Do you know why? Because we have never done any treatment of this kind on a Wednesday. And I had tough time before starting. You know, because we always start when we have a green light, and I had tough time today.
Abdunjai, GRTS.
Well, you can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS radio live. The Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mamburin Njai, has signed 2 financing agreements between the government of the Gambia and the Islamic Development Bank. The loan agreements were expected to boost the operational capabilities of NAWEC and GAMTEL. We hope to bring you more on that in our 10 p.m. news bulletin. The worrying drop in the number of nurses and midwives the world over was highlighted recently at the joint celebrations marking Africa Maternal and Newborn Health Day and International Nurses and Midwives Day. The event, held in Birkama West Coast region, attracted healthcare workers and officials. We have more in this report by Ndai Kumbademba.
National Confederation of Midwives and the International Council of Nurses are bodies that work alongside UN agencies and partners in global initiative to help reduce the number of mothers